This month is Fire Prevention Month. We typically mark Fire Prevention Week on the same week of the great Chicago and Peshtigo fires. And it gives us an opportunity to work with the community, give them some pointers as far as some fire safe practices, prevention methods, and then it also gives us an opportunity to show the tools that we have available in the event that fire or rescue is needed. We have help today from Safe Kids of the Madison area. We also have Fitch-Rona EMS, Fitchburg Police Department, and those that are ultimately concerned about safety in our community. We selected these neighborhoods, northern neighborhoods in the city of Fitchburg, because they are represented by our Healthy Neighborhoods initiative. And what we found in some of our open houses is that we weren't necessarily getting a lot of residents from the north side of our city. So we wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to get out into the public, come to them, if you will, take the show on the road and give them an opportunity to walk to a venue that will give them as much information as possible as far as the work that we do and the fires that we're trying to prevent.
Yeah, so what we have today is we have two simulations going on. The one you saw earlier was the auto extrication, where we'll have a crew cut apart the car and demonstrate what we do on a car accident scene to give the community a better idea of what our jobs involve. And then also we have our prop house that has prop fires that we'll be spraying down with hose and pulling them back up again with a piece of rope. So really just a fun time for the community to get involved and see what we do. I'm very pleased to just be here in the first place to bring the, as I call it, bring the fire station to the community. So, if we had 2 people show up, if we had 2,000 people show up, it's quite the honor to be here, to be able to be with them.
What I want people to do is I really want to make sure that we show that we're accessible to all of our communities. It's easy when we have fire stations in certain neighborhoods and people can stop by and take tours of the fire station. They get a better impression of the stuff that we have available and the people that perform the work. But we have no fire stations in the northern neighborhoods of the city of Fitchburg. We're still able to meet response times. That's not the issue, but our exposure is limited. So this really gives us an opportunity to just be available, answer questions, shake some hands, and ultimately, hopefully, spark interest, especially with some of the kids of this community who might be thinking about, professions that they want to be involved in. And fire service is something that they really should consider. And this allows them to see some people that are doing it and hopefully start asking some questions as they get old enough to start making decisions about their future.
One of the gauges, rather, that the fire department's doing this job is that there aren't any fires. There aren't as many fires from year to year. And so, I remember going on calls. I would be like a kitchen fire or something. The tenant of the apartment had already put some sort of flour or baking soda on it, putting the fire out. Whether they learned it from us or from another source, that tells me that we're doing our job as a fire department to reach the community and show them how they can take safety into their own hands.
Difficult to get people into the fire service. I think there's a number of reasons why. We see that there's hesitancy, and some of it just might be the fact that it doesn't necessarily appear to always be a welcoming environment. There's a culture associated with the fire service, and those that aren't necessarily associated with it may not feel as if they're welcome. And so by coming out to their neighborhoods, hopefully we're giving them a different message. We want to be accessible, and we want to make sure that they have access to us just like anybody else. I think another thing is the fire service is a profession. It's a professional service that requires training and time. And as people have a number of responsibilities with their personal lives, their families, sometimes spending time at the fire station might be difficult. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that this access maybe allows them to ask questions that hopefully clears up some misconceptions about some of the things that they can do to prepare themselves for a life in the fire service. But it's going to take some time, it's going to take some outreach, and ultimately some education to be able to tell them exactly what's involved and how they might be able to contribute.